know who's falling for this?
Who?
Everyone who is holding on to some type of victimhood.
Yes.
That's who's falling for this. If you're holding on to it, you're asleep. And how you're asleep is you're blinded by pride because you want to hold on to the thing that you think somebody is doing to you. You know, like it's even like when you might, there's people who are very, very deep in sleep. There's people who hear something and they wake up and then somebody says, no, just go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Nothing there.
Right.
Right. And then there's people who are waking up and looking around and like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And there's people who are watching. There's people who are awake, you know, and it's sad, but you have to watch for those who don't want to wake up, you know, and you have to love those who are your enemies.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the most important things when you look at like Luke 6 and it goes through all that stuff, right? To be sons of the Most High. It's not enough that you love the people who love you. You have to love those who don't love you.
Yeah.
You have to give to those who are in need, even though they probably will throw it in your face, right?
It's easy to give to your brothers and sisters and those that love you.
Yeah. So
shout out to Mike City. Say what's up, fellas.
what's up, Mike? So for us, like, it's not about rage. Yeah, there's anger. Yeah, there's righteous anger. Like, there's righteous anger with this.
There's fear that
No. I'm
I
saying on God's side, like on people, you can have anger, but you can't sin. You know, be angry, don't sin.
Right.
Ephesians 4.
Right.
Like you have to be able to hold that anger and know how to process it. Right. You have to know how to deal with these things. Man, I cried for like 3 days. I'm not. Like I kept every time I saw, and it wasn't all like sad. Some of it was, but some of it was just like, just seeing how many people
It's joyful tears, right?
were waking up. How many people were like,
Yeah, I've seen that too.
were on fire. How many people?
How many people woke up out of the rage and the joy people were expressing on the team that they felt were in the right?
Yeah. They had the moral high ground. They woke up from that spell.
And they were like, wait a minute. We're celebrating this.
Yeah.
And so, yes, this is a tragic end of a life, right? But what this man stood for and what they thought optically was going to be a victory has been turned into something good, which is this. The hearts, because of their wickedness, people saw their hearts and their intention.
Yeah.
And that turned a lot of people, because I saw tons of video. Because what I was doing was this. While people were rage baiting, and I have people that I'm friends with via Facebook, not personal friends, but friends that was celebrating this, watching them. Now, I personally know their life.
Yeah.
I'm not glorying in this. I'm just saying I know why. There's a reason why you would sink to that level of low, like he said, pride,
Victimhood and pride.
And your victory is short-lived because you can't have you're limited in your ability to not have a conversation to debunk certain things if you feel that way. That your victory is death, and out of that, a lot of people saw the behavior, the vitriol, the venom being spewed to what F his kids, F them,
Right.
and woke up and said, hey, wait a minute here.
Right.
I can't jump on. So they may be feeling good because they feel like it's their comeuppance, right? But they unintentionally, that behavior led to people opening up and being like, whoa, this has gone too far. Watching all the professionals, not even Facebook, I'm talking about professional doctors, surgeons, lawyers, attorneys, people in high positions celebrating this and watching, because a lot of them were outed by their coworkers. People who initially at that time, when they reported, they got suspended, only to turn around and investigate it, and the backlash from the public calling in to be like, whoa, you fired the wrong person, buddy.
Yeah.
And then be reinstated, and the person who was celebrating got fired. See, sometimes you can't think and be like, you know what, I don't say nothing. Sometimes you're just going to have to move.
That's another thing that we're seeing, another phenomenon. I'm calling it the Charlie Kirk effect. Like all of this, these churches being full. We're going to show videos of that. But another phenomenon is more and more people finding out who is secretly Trump supporters. They were afraid to say it before, but this moment, because they were like, no, I have to say something now. And they've kind of like outed themselves to their friends. People like people are cutting them off now. And they are able to point out like, wait a minute, but I didn't agree with you this entire time. And I wanted to still be your friend. You just didn't know that we didn't agree.
Yeah.
And you see me as an enemy now. I never saw you as an enemy, even though we didn't agree. And it's showing the vitriol on one side, that the mentality of like, if
Right.
you don't think exactly like me, then I hate you.
And I've thought about this during my time working. Talking with my boss. I was like, I'm not even mad at them because I understand
Yeah.
the fall and the fallen state of the mind. Because the thing about it, once you open that door, right, you are no longer in control. They think they're in control,
Right.
But listen, you're captivated by the enemy, and he will twist your mind. And these victories seem important to you, but you are under a spell. You're under a control. And watching it, I realized that's what people were waking up of, because there were a lot of people who I won't say ashamed. I don't know them to make that proclamation. I'm just saying this because our fear of feeling like, well, I feel this way and I'm gonna vote this way. I'm a conservative, but I won't tell anybody because I don't want to upset my friend circle.
Yeah.
I don't want to upset the people at work.
Right.
Like you said, finally, it took something this tragic to be like, wait a minute now. So I feel like this man. If I said something, you would kill me?
Yeah.
Because this is how you felt. Death was the solution for this man's words.
And even me just saying, man, I feel sad that this happened to this guy.
Yeah.
You now see me as an
You're
enemy.
the
I was just talking to my sister, Rachel, driving here about this. And she was telling me how her coworkers were celebrating this. And she was like, I had to say something.
Yeah.
And I was like, good for you, Shelly.
Yeah, I'm glad.
She's like, I couldn't believe this. She's like, I was like, why are you guys celebrating? Why is this joyful to you? And we talked about that. And I'm gonna call her back, and because I want to work this out with her, because she's not deep into politics like we are.
Right.
She knows a little bit about him, but I'm so glad that she did something. I said, I'm proud of you.
Yeah. There's
Don't let people's idea and their venom scare you. You know what I'm saying?
something that I watched that kind of reminded me of Lisi. There was a couple of students, young. They look like younger than Lisi's age. Some teacher said something, and celebrating the death, they actually went in front of like a board and read what they felt about it.
Wow.
Good.
Standing up.
We have to.
Yeah.
It just reminded me of like how you told me the story about how her teacher's just like saying whatever.
Yeah, and she was telling me about it, about even now, like her social studies teacher after this happened. He's like talking about it in class, but he's saying it in a way where he's framing it as if, Charlie Kirk was this guy that, said all these horrible things, and she's like, I don't know what to do. Like,
Yeah.
because he says you can challenge me, you can debate me on these things, but these are 15-year-old kids.
Right.
Yeah.
I think part of it too, if I'm me searching within myself, I would say this: as Christians, one of the things that, well, I can only speak for me, but what we get thrown in our face a lot, especially by non-believers, is what would Jesus do? Jesus is love. Which, those things are true, but Jesus was also passionate about his kingdom.
Yeah.
There have been other incidents where Jesus stood up. Look at the temple.
Yeah.
And they were selling and they were using the temple for their own means, right? There's been plenty of time when Jesus admonished, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those are never quoted, and I think over time,
They've been quoting that as why Charlie Kirk was killed.
right?
Like, I've been hearing pastors say that.
But what it did unintentionally is we were getting lectured to by unbelievers who wanted us to follow an archetype of what they think Jesus is. Jesus would be tolerable of everything and anything. And over the years, us being fearful of having those conversations, we kind of like quell down. Don't say anything. Now, I'm going to say this, but I don't mean it in a bad way. I remember when I came here to the United States and I started going to school. And this is a modern society. Evolution is pushed. Now, in Trinidad, evolution wasn't pushed as much. It was heavily. I went to Catholic school.
Yeah, your schools were mostly Catholic.
Mostly
yeah.
Catholic.
Yeah.
So we didn't encounter that, but we were also given it from that perspective. Now, when I got here, right, when in class and having this conversation, I could see the passion from the teacher. But one thing that followed it was, and anybody who doesn't believe this, they're an idiot.
They're an idiot. Yeah.
Now, when I would come home and talk to my dad about this, he would say, listen, don't have respect. Don't say anything. Just go ahead and pass the class and keep it moving. Subsequently, I think a lot of Christians over the years, what we did was we learned how to live under a regime, a mindset, by being like, I don't want to say anything.
I don't want to
Yeah.
pick this
I
battle.
don't want to challenge this.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we've quietly taught our children and learned how to, well, you never know, and don't say. Now, again, I'm not saying go yell and be disruptive in the class.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that by adopting that mindset, we slowly became very docile. And Charlie was the opposite of that.
Right.
So he has inspired people to say, okay, you can have a disagreement and an argument without cursing anybody. I never seen him curse. I never seen him lost his temper. This is a
I've
good
seen
example.
him lose his temper with Cenk.
Oh yeah, that was another false clip that people. Did you see that people spreading that around saying he said an Asian slur in this
Yeah,
clip
yeah.
because they don't know anything about.
The dude, what's his name? Emmanuel Acho used to play for the Eagles, who's a commentator
Yeah.
now for Fox.
Yeah.
He did a video on that.
saying that he used the Asian
He,
slur.
he used the
People were-
Asian slur, and I can't even say it because it's so vulgar.
But I knew that he was referring to Chenky.
Yes,
So I-
but it's just so ridiculous. Like people were posting that clip of him yelling
Like-
at Cenk Uygur, saying like, "See, he's using Asian slurs openly, calling this person a CHINK," and it's like
Because Cenk was, what was that at?
it was at some debate. Thing.
Yeah, he was in the audience.
was in the audience.
screaming stuff.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he just
You
got.
know Cenk
he
loves
lost
to-
his.
I know,
he
I
lost
know.
his cool
Yeah,
there.
I know.
I felt like.
so he kept saying Cenk, like trying to say stuff back to him, and they're thinking he's calling to my.
I didn't respond to. I saw that. I didn't respond to it because I knew.
Yeah, I knew what it was.
I guess I
but
knew.
but that just was so evident to me.
Out of
that-
context,
that-
yeah.
No, that people have no idea what they're talking about. They
Yeah.
don't know anything about the realm. Like
Yeah.
for you not to
It's
know
hard,
who Cenk Uygur is,
Yeah.
and you want to commentate on politics,
Yeah.
like come on.
And I want to say this, like, I don't think everybody should have the conversations. I don't think everybody has the ability to
No,
have the
definitely not.
conversations. I think that people need to press into Jesus. I
Mm-hmm.
think like you have to let go of your own identity. We shouldn't be all Charlie Kirks.
Yeah,
We should just know that Charlie Kirk was that because he
who God-
pressed into Jesus.
Yeah.
So everybody can be their own individual in how they do it. It doesn't have to look the same.
And he had a good gift. His gift was different.
yeah. Let me read this comment from YouTube real quick. Amber is on there. She said, "I tried to talk to her. She's talking about her pastor. I tried to talk to my pastor after he was saying he didn't understand why the flags were at half mast, and he said, when you spam hatred, what do I expect?" Her pastor said that.
Yeah, I think you need to get a new
Well, when
pastor.
you spew hatred, okay, yeah, that's
Like, because that's, and the only reason why I say that is because, like, spiritually, he's lost.
yeah,
Yeah.
If you can't see the point of it and why, first of all, it's not hatred, and there goes the judgment right there. So, like, you're making a judgment on something, you better prove that.
Right.
You better show how it's hatred, and then. The reason why hate speech is a problem is because it's hard to define what hate speech is,
Yeah.
right? So anybody can say that's hate speech because it offends me.
Did you see the clip of Pam Bondi today talking about people being prosecuted for hate speech?
No?
Oh, let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, it was so weird. Hold on.
But so you see, like, the premise is it's hateful, right? They already made that up in their mind.
Yeah,
So before you even deal with that thing, you got to deal with that,
right.
right? With people, you have to deal with that. Hold up. You said this. Prove that. How do you come to these conclusions?
Exactly.
And a lot of these people have just heard something from somebody else, and they jump to conclusions, and that is very irresponsible.
And get emotional.
Yeah, and get emotional. But the biggest thing is, are we truly looking to see what is the truth? Right? Do we really want to know the truth? And we talked about this at church. I've talked to you about this, Jamie. One of the biggest things is I don't want to look like this. I don't want to look like the bad guy. I don't want to, I heard one guy saying, I'm a good guy, but I feel the type of way against Charlie Kirk, right? Okay, there goes the problem. Your premise is that you're a good guy.
Yeah.
That's the problem right there.
Right.
Where do you get that from? So you got, before you even deal with the other stuff, you got to deal with that. And my point is that how do we get to these conclusions? Because we have protected ourselves,
Right.
and we don't even know it. We were talking about, like, even as babies, we are learning how to protect ourselves, right? How do we do that? We mirror our parents. When our parents aren't around, we talked about on this podcast, daycare, right? The whole daycare problem.
Yeah.
Because babies are going to daycare, and then they need their parents. They don't have their parents there to be able to mirror them right? And you put babies in context that they don't, or into places that they don't know how to put into context, don't know how to grasp understanding of it. Where do they get that understanding? From their parents. Why? They see their faces. If you show your kid anxiety, they're gonna feel anxiety. If you show them peace, they're gonna be in peace. If you show them calm, they're gonna be in calm. When we get, oh my God, they're crying. I don't. That's what they feel, right?
You're so right. I just watched a video of a lady talking to her 2 daughters, and she's like, "Guys, guess what happened?" And they're like, "Donald Trump died."
I saw that video.
Yeah.
And they named off somebody else.
Elon Musk.
Elon
Musk,
Musk died. They
yeah.
kept on going down the list.
The vice president.
Right. And the guy who narrated the video, he was like, "Guys, these kids don't know this.
Yeah.
They're little. They're like, they couldn't be older than 6 or 8.
They seem smaller than that. Like,
It's learned.
I mean, and she's just, you could tell, she's not even caring that they're saying this. She's just like, no, not that. Though that would be good.
yeah, right.
I mean, you're right. That.
And then she posted it as something to brag
posted it.
about.
She posted it, man.
And so like even think about the kids that
Sick.
you know, they're 3, 4, and they're acting like they're shooting guns.
Yeah.
Drive-bys. You saw the videos,
Yeah.
right? Or dancing raunchy, right? All that stuff. It's all mirrored, right? How do they learn? They mirror their parents, right? They mirror their mothers mostly. But again, when you don't have them around, you're doing it. You don't have the context. So now you're trying to protect yourself anyway. So now you're just making up. Like, think about it. You're in a, you ever get in a place and you're like, oh man, I've never been here before. How do I put this into
Yeah.
You're literally learning how to process what's going on, you know, even if it's a good thing. Like, wow, this is, people say it's surreal.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to put it into context, right? And that word has been the word over and over again. People take it out of context, take it out of context, because they've been doing that.
Yeah.
They've been taking everything into their own context or the context that they've been mirrored, right?
Right.
That they've been learned to mirror. If people have been abusing you, like, think about how many kids have been abused and then they call it, whoever's abused, their abuser's calling it love. That's the context they have. So they grow up with that context. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is where trauma and all these things happen. So is there something to victimhood? Yes. But if you call that your identity, that is where you will have your context perverted.
Right.
Right? So now everything you see is through that lens. You can't see it any other way.
Yeah, until you wake up from that.
If your parents are telling you that cops are racist, all cops are racist your whole life, you're going to be, and then you see these videos where people are crying about how they don't want to get in a situation where they get pulled over because they've been programmed.
And not only that, there was a big error on the internet where a lot of these channels emerged. They got a lot of clicks and made a lot of money off of highlighting stories where police were behaving horribly.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know? That was a whole era on the internet. A lot of those channels still exist.
And social media doesn't do any
Right.
better, because if you are curating your channels where all you're watching is what's going to confirm your bias
Yeah.
and your reality, your own context,
It's going to just keep feeding you that.
it's just going to keep, and then it's strengthening you in that perversion, right? How do you break that? Jesus. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Literally, you're learning that it's something you grasp onto. It's something that's shifting you, right, into something to hold on to. What do we hold on to when we're babies? Our parents. Physically, right? What do we grab hold of and don't want to let go of? Our parents. More than anything else, we hold on to our parents. And through Jesus, he's showing us how to hold on to God. That's what's so beautiful. Why are we babes in Christ? Why are we children?
Because we're growing.
Because we're learning.
We're learning, yeah.
Because we're reprocessing everything. Because we're literally taking our old context and saying, it's not serving me, it's not helping me, and I need him. He's our image. He's our substance. He's the thing that God gave us, the Father gave us, so that we would have something to hold on to, right? To grasp, to understand. The love of Christ. So in these things, you see like that dividing line where there's people who are in pride, in their emotions, in their feelings. And these things only last for moments. They're not going to last forever. But then on the other end, you're starting to see people who are realizing something and awakening to something, and they don't know how to put it into words because it's new for them, right? And that's where the truth is in this thing that you can't put words to, you can't grasp, but you know it's real. And so many people are finding that now. They're finding Jesus. Maybe they don't even know what it is yet exactly. But we have to continue to talk about these things. We've been talking about these things for years. But we're learning. We're learning how to do it better. You know, we're learning how to grow in the world, right?
Yeah.
And how to engage with the world in a better way. So it's a learning. Nobody's going to do it perfectly. But it's so funny how they expect everybody to do it perfectly.
Yeah.
All the people who judge, they expect you to do it perfectly.
Right.